Good afternoon, everyone. Two arrivals and money all at once, not in the slow, one thing at a time way that life usually delivers its significant moments, but in the simultaneous, suddenly the landscape looks completely different way. That tends to happen when energy that's been building um, in multiple directions hits a threshold and releases all at once. This is that moment. Um, and it requires um, more than excitement, clarity. Because multiple arrivals simultaneously, um, however welcome, require the specific grounded clarity of someone who can hold more than one significant thing at a time without getting swept into any one of them before they've understood what all of them are. Uh, let's start with the money because it's listed first. And in this specific combination of arrivals, it matters that it comes first. Um, Sudden money, um, as we've talked about before, is not just a financial event. Um, it's a clarifying event. It reveals things um, about people, about dynamics, about who was present before and who appears after that weren't visible when resources were constrained. Um, and in this specific reading, where two people are arriving alongside the money, the timing matters. Um, because the question worth sitting with before anything else is whether these two arrivals are connected to the money or independent of it. Um, were they already present before the financial shift? Already moving toward you in ways that had nothing to do with what you have or what you're about to have? And or are they part of the new landscape, um, arriving with the changed circumstances in a way that makes their timing worth noticing, uh, not with suspicion, um, with awareness? Because the person who was there before the money, who wanted you before the landscape changed, is a different proposition than the person who appears with it. Both might be worth knowing, but they're not the same. And treating them as the same without this distinction would be one of the more expensive errors available to you right now. This reflection invites you to consider who was there before the shift, before the money, uh, before the arrival of these people, who was present in your life, in your corner, showing up without the incentive of changed circumstances, just because they wanted to be there. Because that list, um, however short, is the foundation. And the arrivals happening now need to be measured against it, not harshly, accurately. Uh, Now, uh, the sudden quality of the money, because sudden in the financial context produces a specific psychological state, um, a combination of relief and disorientation that most people don't anticipate. Uh, the relief is obvious. Um, the disorientation, less so, but it's real because sudden money arriving faster than the internal architecture was built for requires the identity to update alongside the bank account. And identity updates, as we've talked about, take longer than financial ones, which means in the window between the money arriving and the identity catching up, um, decisions made from the old identity, the one calibrated to less, can quietly undermine what the new circumstances are trying to build. Uh, and this specific window where the money arrives simultaneously with two people is particularly important to navigate carefully because the disorientation of sudden financial change, uh, combined with the emotional charge of two significant arrivals, creates a lot of input uh, all at once for a system that needs to process each element clearly, um, to make the decisions that serve you. Um, Slow down, not indefinitely, just enough uh, to process one thing at a time before the excitement of all of it arriving simultaneously carries you somewhere you didn't fully choose. Mm. Now, the two people, because this is the part that deserves the most attention. Two arrivals, uh, two separate energies, um, two different propositions. And one of them, specifically, particularly with clear intention, um, wants to settle down with you. Let's understand what these two arrivals might represent at the structural level. Um, because two people arriving simultaneously with different intentions is not a coincidence to be dismissed. It's a choice being presented. Um, and choices presented in the context of new resources, new possibilities, new versions of what your life could look like require more deliberation than choices made in the ordinary flow of things, um, because the stakes are higher. Because the decision made here in this specific window of change shapes what the new landscape actually becomes. Um, and the new landscape, what it actually becomes, is worth protecting Um, the first person, the one who isn't the settler, what are they bringing? Uh, because their arrival alongside the one who wants commitment is not neutral. Um, their presence in this reading at this specific moment suggests they're carrying something significant too. Maybe opportunity, professional, uh, creative, um, a collaboration or connection that opens something in your work life rather than your personal one. Someone who appears not to love you, uh, but to build with you, whose arrival changes the landscape of what's professionally possible in a way that complements the financial shift rather than competing with it. Um, or maybe, and this version requires the most discernment, the first person is also a romantic arrival, but without the clarity of the second one. The exciting version, um, the one that carries intensity, but not necessarily direction, the one that feels like something without being able to fully articulate what, the one that keeps the door open without walking through it. Um, and if that's the configuration, two romantic arrivals, one clear and one ambiguous, then the choice being presented is between certainty and possibility, um, between someone who has decided and someone who is still interesting. That choice, uh, honestly made, requires knowing what you actually want, um, not what sounds good, not what seems reasonable, um, what you actually want in your body, in the quiet, before the excitement of simultaneous arrivals um, makes everything feel equally compelling. This reflection invites you to consider, if the money wasn't arriving, if the landscape wasn't changing, which of these two people would you still be drawn to? Um, remove the context. Um, remove the excitement of everything shifting simultaneously. In the ordinary version of your life, before any of this, um, which arrival would still matter? Because that answer, stripped of the context, is probably the most honest one available. Um, and honest in this specific window is the only thing worth building from. Now, uh, the person who wants to settle down. Let's spend real time here because settle down is carrying a lot. Um, in the cultural shorthand, settle down sounds like the end of something, like the closing of possibility, like choosing the responsible option, uh, the stable option over the exciting one. And that framing, which most of us absorbed somewhere along the way, is actually completely backwards. settling down with the right person is not the end of possibility. Um, it's the beginning of a specific kind of possibility that is genuinely unavailable outside of commitment. Um, the possibility of being fully known, of having someone in your corner, uh, not just for the exciting parts, but for the ordinary ones, the Tuesday ones, the difficult ones, the ones where being chosen by someone who had all the information and chose anyway, um, is the thing that makes the difference. That's what settle down is actually offering. Not restriction, a specific kind of depth that cannot be accessed from the surface. That requires the commitment to actually build toward rather than perpetually sampling. Um, and this person, um, the one making that offer, has decided, um, not still deciding, um, not keeping options open, decided on you, um, with full awareness of who you are and the specific, clear, this is what I want decision to pursue something real, something that lasts, um, something that has the quality of, I've thought about this and I want to build it with you. That's not ordinary. Um, in a world where most people are careful to leave every exit open, someone deciding clearly without hedging is actually remarkable. Uh, and it deserves to be received, um, not dismissed in favor of the more exciting ambiguity, simply because the decided thing feels less thrilling than the undecided one. Um, because here's the honest truth about excitement versus commitment, and this might land uncomfortably. Uh, excitement, um, the kind produced by ambiguity, by the chase, by the not quite knowing, is partly a chemical response to uncertainty. The brain produces it, um, reliably, powerfully, um, in response to not knowing. And it's compelling. It's designed to be, um, it's one of the most powerful feeling states available to a human nervous system. But it's not a reliable indicator of what will actually make you happy, um, of what will hold, of what will be there in the ordinary Tuesday version of your life 3 years from now. Commitment, real, chosen, deliberate commitment produces a different kind of feeling, um, quieter, less urgent. Sometimes, especially at the beginning, almost underwhelming compared to the excitement of the undecided. Um, but it's the kind that compounds, the kind that deepens rather than fades, the kind that in 3 years, in 10 years, um, you look at and think, I chose correctly. Um, Not because it was always exciting, but because it was real. Um, and real, in the end, outlasts exciting every single time. This reflection invites you to consider, what does settle down actually mean to you? Not the cultural shorthand, uh, your actual definition. Um, what would it feel like from the inside to be in a relationship that has the quality of settled, um, not stagnant, settled? The specific piece of someone who has stopped looking, not because they gave up, uh, but because they found what they were looking for, um, and chose it. What does that feel like in your specific imagination? Um, and does the person making this offer feel like someone you could build that with? Not the exciting version of that question, the honest one, uh, the one that asks, um, is this person someone I trust with the ordinary version of my life, not just the good moments? Uh, now, all three things together: the money, the two people, um, what's actually being offered in this simultaneous arrival is a choice about what the new chapter looks like. Uh, because all three, the financial shift and the two arrivals, are inputs into the same question. What do I build from here? With what resources? With whom? Toward what version of my life? Uh, and the answers to those questions, made now in this specific window, when the landscape is genuinely open, shape everything that follows. Um, so don't rush them. Don't let the excitement of multiple arrivals produce hasty decisions, um, in any of the categories. Um, don't spend the money before the identity has caught up. Don't choose the relationship before you understand what both people actually represent. Don't let the energy of the moment, um, however wonderful, do the deciding for you. You do the deciding, uh, deliberately, from your center, from the settled, grounded, I know what I actually want version of yourself that exists underneath the excitement. Um, because that version, the deliberate one, makes decisions you can live with, um, not just decisions you can explain. Live with in the ordinary Tuesday version of whatever comes next. Uh, and that's what matters. Uh, Not the arrival. what you build from it with the money, uh, the people, the new landscape deliberately chosen and intentionally built. Uh, that's the whole opportunity right here, right now, in the window. Uh, don't waste it on impulsive decisions. Um, spend it on deliberate ones. The power is yours. Um, it always has been. Three things are arriving: money, two people. Um, one of them decided. All of them inputs into the same question: what do I build from here? Um, answer that question slowly, honestly, from your actual center, and what you build will hold, um, because it was chosen deliberately, um, by someone who knew what they wanted and chose it anyway. Um, that's the only foundation worth building on. And it's available right now, um, to you. Take what resonates, softly release the rest, trust yourself.